What up? Hey, what up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? Hey, what up? What up? Hey, what up?
What up, though, YouTube, and welcome back to Luke G's Field Review. Today, we are back at it, this time taking a look at the Detroit Lions 2019 linebacker prospect visits. We're going to start this thing off with Wayne State University's linebacker Anthony Pittman. He is a hometown person. As you can see, he's from Birmingham, Michigan. He's 6'3", people, 224. I'm using the Wayne State's official website because ESPN just did not have his statistical information, and I wanted you to be able to see what his production looked like, and at least for just this season. So in this season alone, he's had 48 solo tackles, 28 assists, that's 76 total, 11.5 tackles for a loss. He's had 3 sacks and 1 quarterback hit, 1 pass breakup, and 1 safety. And when we go through and we look at his games played in terms of totals, 43 games in 4 seasons. When we come on down to the career part of it, as you can see right here, he finished his career at Wayne State with 120 total tackles solo, 61 assists. That gives him a total career of 181. He's had 31.5 tackles for a loss. He's had 8 sacks and 1 interception, 3 pass deflects, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery. I tried hard to find a lot of footage on this guy that had good angles, and again, you know, none that I can really see. So if someone got better footage that I can physically see, I would love it, but I could not find that. So that's what we have for this guy. And in terms of where they visit him at, they visit him at the local pro day. So, you know, they was really heavy in the local, so they was at Wayne State. Next, we have Devon White, linebacker out of LSU. This is a name that many of us are already familiar with. 6'1", 240, the former running back turned linebacker, finished this past season with 62 solo tackles, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. And when we go through and look at his career, for the season, he had a total of 123 total tackles. Again, he had 62 solos, 61 assists, 6 pass deflects, 3 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. In 2017, he had 133 total tackles with 37 solo, 96 assists. Again, y'all know I did a film study on this guy, and I had concerns with the way he tackled, but to see 96 assist tackles, it can either be a good or a bad thing, depending on the spectrum you're on. But 3 pass deflects, 4.5 sacks, 1 interception, and you know, I've pretty much gave my opinion of Devon White. I think he's a good linebacker, but he definitely needs some work. He needs to work on his tackling, his pursuit, and his cover skills a little bit. But again, I mean, this is a name we're not unfamiliar with. And so they visit with him at the combine. Next up, we have Tavon Coney from Notre Dame, another senior who's 6'1", 240. As you can see, he had 63 solo tackles, 4 sacks, and an interception this past season. He had a total of 123 total tackles, 63 solo, 60 assists, 4 pass deflects, 4 sacks, 1 interception. The truth is, when I go through and I look at his production, and you already know I did a film study on this guy, in between the hash marks, I swear he's like the Terminator. You know, hash mark to hash mark, you're going to get the best out of this player. Sideline to sideline, that's another story. But as you can see here, when you look at his production, it's similar, very similar to that of Devon White, in that he had 112 total tackles, 53 solo, 59 assists, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. As you know, I did a video on him, so I pretty much am familiar with it, with his film. And, you know, for me, he's not a bad player as long as you got him in between the hash. So when I look at this player, the first thing that comes to mind to me is that this is probably a third-round pick, maybe second or third-round pick type player, depending on how they value his ability. But if they saw what I saw, they would know that, like I said, in between the hashes, he's really a legitimate player. Next up, we have Josh Allen from Kentucky, not to be confused with Josh Allen of the Buffalo Bills, the quarterback. He is a senior, 6'5", 260. This is, I pretty much think, most people's favorite prospect. 56 solo tackles, 17 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, people. When we look at his production for 2018, he had 88 total tackles, 56 solo, 32 assists, 4 pass deflects, again, 17 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. When we go through 2017, he had 66 total tackles, 32 solo, 34 assists, 3 pass deflects, 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception. We go to 2016, 62 total tackles, 32 solo, 30 assists, 7 sacks. I mean, the sacks alone, I think, is what people get excited about. But to me, it's the fact that when he's making a lot of those sacks and he's coming around the edge, he's creating fumbles, and that's 10. That's a huge number, believe it or not. Here's the thing about this, people. The Lions have met with this guy at the Combine. They have met with him at his pro day. They have met with him as one of our 30 visits. I mean, they've spent a lot of time talking to this guy. And if for some reason, if he fall, you know, with the amount of attention that this is shown, I gotta believe this is a guy that they want. So don't be surprised if you see it. Next, we have Devin Bush from Michigan. This is another one of the names that many people here in Detroit have said that they would like, and I think it's just simply because he's at Michigan. But I just think based on all the other prospects that we've seen at this position, all these guys are coming up extremely big linebackers, and he is by far the shortest in terms of inches at 5'11", 233. But in terms of production, he's not up there with some of these names that I'm seeing that they have met with. 41 solo tackles from 2018, 5 sacks, and he finished the season in 2018 with 67 total tackles, 41 solo, 26 assists, 5 pass deflects. When you go to 2017, you see 94 total tackles, 44 solo, 50 assists, 8 pass deflects, 5 sacks. For me, the most impressive thing about him is the pass deflects. I mean, that's an impressive stat in my opinion. It shows that he's at least in the area to break the pass up in coverage, and that's a good thing. But is he someone that I really think Detroit took serious? I do not. They did meet with him when they attended the Michigan Pro Day. Next, we have Malik Carney, North Carolina, 6'3", 245. He finished 2007 with 37 solo tackles, 6.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. When we look at his total for the season, 60 total tackles, 37 solo, 23 assists, 2 pass deflects, 6.5 sacks, and again 5 fumbles. 2017, 57 total tackles, 26 solo, 31 assists, 2 pass deflects, 5.5 sacks. In fact, if you look, it looks like 6.5 is his highest, but 5.5 seems to be around that average. The forced fumbles are not that bad neither. It's 8 forced fumbles total for his career. Again, I'm going to tell you as always, please don't be no chump and do your research, because you want to watch film on all these linebackers. Some of them is going to be harder than others to find, but you know, if there's a will, there's a way, and you'll find the information. They met with him at the East-West Shrine game. Next up, we have Blake Cashman out of Minnesota, 6'2", 235. Finished the season with 62 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Last time I checked with this particular one, they was looking at him as a inside linebacker. the other linebackers, they brought versatility in terms of being able to play all the different linebacker spots, including the Mr. hash mark guy, Tavon Coney. But what made this one interesting to me was not only did they go and visit with this guy in terms of, you know, meeting with him at the combine, you know, it was rumored that a scout was there too. And I kind of understand why. But when I go and look at his production for 2008, that's 104 tackles, okay? And you might look at it and go, well, that's not that big of a deal. Yeah, but 62 of those are solo, 42 are assists, and yeah, I know it's only 20 more, but he's sideline to sideline based on what I can see in film. And then he had the 5 pass deflects, 2.5 sacks, 1 forced fumble. And if you come down here to 2016, where he had 45 total tackles, 31 of them were solo, 14 were assists, 7.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. So I feel like once they saw what he did in 2016, they said, okay, in 2017, we got to slow him down. And again, 30 total tackles, 20 solo, 10 assists, 2 pass deflects, 2 sacks. So, I mean, again, watch the film, people. Some of these names, these numbers look good, but the film gonna tell you something different. Next, we have up another familiar name that many people have asked me to do film study on and asked me my thoughts on. Mr. Mack Wilson out of Alabama, 6'2", 239. He finished the season with 36 solo tackles, 1 sack, 2 interceptions. But his total for the season was 71 total tackles, 36 solo, 35 assists, 5 pass deflects, 1 sack, 2 interceptions. And in 2017, he had 40 total tackles, 21 solo, 19 assists, 2 pass deflects, 4 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Like I said, you got to watch the film on these people. And you will see some of the things that I saw. I can tell you this: they've met with him at the combine, and they've met with him at the pro day. So to date, he's had 2 meetings with the Detroit Lions. And one of the things that I'm going to do when I'm done showing y'all all the different groups is give y'all my overall view of who they visited and things like that. And you kind of see how I was able to pick up on certain trends and patterns. Next up, we have Kylerostral, and I do apologize if I botched your name, from Eastern Michigan, another hometown native, Lapeer, Michigan, 6'3", 237. I keep trying to tell people that it is something to the Detroit Lions wanting bigger linebackers, but if they insist that Devin Bush is one of those guys, I think it was just more like, let's take a look and see how we can use them. But it's something about these bigger boys that they definitely like. But he finished the season with 49 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. And when we look at his total for the season, 127 total tackles, 49 solo, 78 assists, 4 pass deflects, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 interceptions. In 2017, he had 66 total tackles, 34 solo, 32 assists, 2 pass deflects, 1.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. When I watched the film on him, the little bit that they had out there, again, a lot of these smaller schools need to do a better job of putting out better video footage of these players. I just don't understand what's going on. But when I watched the film on the guy, the little bit that I was able to see, what I immediately noticed is, you know, he likes contact. That's just me. But you go and watch the film for yourself. They visit with him at the local pro day. They have been doing a lot of work being in their own backyard. So they have visit at Eastern Michigan for the pro day, and we know that they was not just there for Mr. Rothschild for himself. Next, we have Junior McMullen from Miami of Ohio, another Michigan native from Oak Park, Michigan. He's 6'1", 245 pounds, had 18 solos, 1 sack. He finished the season with a total of 42 tackles, again 18 solo, 24 assists, 1 pass deflect, 1 sack. In 2017, 57 total tackles, 26 solo, 31 assists, 2 sacks. And then in 2016, 90 total tackles, 47 solo, 43 assists, 2 pass deflects, 2 sacks. Now, I'm told that they worked them out. And what I mean by I'm told, in other words, I read a number of different resources. Okay, but this is what I'm reading, that he was worked out as a inside linebacker. And to me, this is one of those guys that, again, is probably going to be one of those later 4th, 5th round guys. But there was actually some film out there about this guy, so definitely check it out. I know that they met with him at his pro day. Next up, we have Sione Taki, BYU senior, who is 6'2", 230, 74 solo tackles, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. He finished the year with 118 total tackles, again 74 solo, 44 assists, 3 pass deflect, 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble. Here's the thing: you should really watch the film on this guy, and see some of the things that I saw, and I can see why they would look at him. But when I look at his statistical numbers, the production matchup partially to what I saw on film. I mean, like right here, he has 5 sacks right here, 2 pass deflects, 36 assist tackles, 43 solos, 79 total for 2017. And you're going to see in the film how that comes about. Now, here's my overall view of the list of the linebackers. I am a complete snob when it comes to the linebackers. You will notice that TJ Edwards' name was not on the list. The Texas linebacker Johnson name is not on the list. You will notice that Khalil Hodge's name was not on the list. Here's the thing I want you to do. When you're paying attention to these lists, also take note at who's not on the list, because who's not on the list does not mean that the Lions are not looking at them. In fact, we know for a fact that the Detroit Lions attended Buffalo's Pro Day, and I just don't see them going to Buffalo's Pro Day to look at Tyree Jackson, the quarterback. They clearly had to look at all the prospects coming out of that school. So we know that they've been to Wisconsin, so I know that they've seen TJ Edwards. I know that they've been to Texas, so I know that they've seen Johnston. NC State's Pratt. We know that they've been there, so I know they've seen Pratt. So what that tells me is this, because this is where I'm a snob at, and I have to kind of get some self-control. One of the things I'm going to do is tell you, if you're more concerned about the track numbers, feel free to go on NFL.com to the combine results and check out the track numbers. I myself do not particularly care about them, but it is what it is. I go by film and film only. This is a very interesting group that the Detroit Lions are looking at, and I think you're going to notice that, again, all those linebackers are bigger guys. If they're 6'1", they're 240. You know, the shortest one that they looked at to date was Devin Bush, and at 5'11", 233, I just don't see that being a valuable option for them. Now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for now. And as always, I'd like to leave you with this great piece of advice. Please don't be no chump. Please do your research.